on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good morning, it's Thursday, September 4th, 2025. Mental health is real. Seek help and the stigma. On the news this morning, court adjourns suit challenging appointment of RISIC chairman and members. We have the latest on the late doctor who died in Port Harcourt. Stakeholder questions Rivers government flood rescue plans as environmental sanitation takes place this weekend. Suspected cold scare at Ajuru University raises security concerns. And on the foreign scene, 15 people die in Portugal. Details of these and more after this break. News this morning with a tragedy that occurred right here in River State, which led to the death of a young medical doctor, Femi Rutifa. Now, the latest report suggests that he allegedly collapsed inside the call room after working for more than 72 hours as the doctor on duty. Before his death, he worked in the surgery unit of River State University Teaching Hospital. The management of RSUTH has remained mute on the incident, despite repeated calls and WhatsApp messages sent by our correspondent to the Chief Medical Director, Professor Chizindo Aliko. In a related story, a medical doctor now based in the United Kingdom, Dr. Stephen Yeche, says the late doctor was found unresponsive on one of the hospital rooms. He adds that a tertiary hospital like RSUTH should routinely provide health checkups for its workers. Dr. Yeche further urged both tertiary and private hospitals in River State to ensure free routine medical checkups for their staff.
If these personnel are not healthy, how do you expect maximum productivity from the health force? Make sure that your staffs are healthy to withstand the pressure. These staffs cannot afford the investigation you even offer because you pay them peanuts. And then you expect the health force to move forward. These are the reasons why some of us left Nigeria. And I want to use this medium to appeal to River State University Teaching Hospital to see that all health care personnel that they have routine checkup free.
Now let's take you back a bit and remind you that in September 2024, the now suspended River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara approved the employment of 2,000 medical personnel for the state. Governor Fubara said out of the number, 1,000 personnel would be engaged by the River State Health Management Board, while the other 1,000 will work for RSUTH. Away from that, River State Administrator retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas says his government is not only focused on roads and bridges, but also investing in building people. Now, he made the point in Port Harcourt while declaring open a 30-day residential vanguard initiative on behavioral modification for youth. Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas says true development must reflect in human capital. He was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Ibibio Lucky Warika.
This initiative is not just a program, it's a bold step. A movement and a commitment to shaping the future of River State through the transformation of our young people. In River State, our youths are like the strong tide of the river, full of power, full of energy. But just as our traditional canoe needs a paddle to move in the right direction, Our young people also need guidance and discipline to channel their strength, their energy and resources for progress.
Professor Warika explained that the Vanguard initiative was created to help young people build knowledge and character.
Behavioral modification is the bridge that takes us from a wasted potential to a fulfilled destiny. This training will teach you how to resist peer pressure, avoid violence, stay away from drugs, and embrace useful skills. We should at this juncture remember another proverb: the fish that refuses the net today may not escape the hook tomorrow. The choices you make now will certainly shape your tomorrow.
While also speaking, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Youth Development, Mrs. Ruhoma Keje, said the behavioral modification training is designed to reorient the youth before giving them hands-on skills. She adds that the ministry has introduced a new model, Train to Engage, to ensure every participant is not just trained, but also guided and supported to put their skills to use. Let's now remind you that there will be environmental sanitation cleanup exercise this Saturday. This is according to the River State Waste Management Agency, which shifted it from last Saturday because of the August 30th council elections. Rwama Board Chairman Mr. Wanosike warned that owners of dirty compounds and business premises will bear the cost of cleaning if they refuse to clean their surroundings. Now, he also says there will be restriction of movement during the exercise, but not everyone agrees. A lawyer, Chizi Enyi, says restricting human and vehicular movement during sanitation is illegal and violates citizens' rights. He reminded authorities that the High Court and Court of Appeal had already ruled against such restrictions.
On issue of sanitation exercise, there ought not to be restrictions. You can't restrict people's movement. That is it. Apart from the fact that there is a law not restricting people's movement, there is also judicial interpretation as to that. The High Court has given judgment and it was also affirmed by the Court of Appeal. What is the reason to restrict people's movement? Even when you know that others who have done it, damages were paid to those who went to court on that issue.
Another lawyer, Ndamzi Ekulo, also condemned the restrictions, saying Justice Omotosho of the Federal High Court had declared such directives unlawful.
The Rwama Act 2014 can be superior to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Federal High Court, in the case of Barrister Prince Azubike against the Attorney General of Rivers State, Rwama, and Commissioner of Police Rivers State, Justice Omotosho held that restriction of movement in Rivers State on the last Saturday of every month under the guise of environmental sanitation exercise is illegal, unconstitutional. So we should be guided in whatever we are doing.
Turning to flood concerns, former coordinator of the Engeni Flood Disaster Response Organization, Dr. Eniata Abieba, is questioning the use of helicopters and gunboats during last week's flood simulation in Mbiama, Ahoda West. He argues the government may not actually deploy such resources when floods hit farmers and residents. He spoke to our correspondent, Onyeka Chinwosu.
The issue is that when the flood is full-blown, would there be opportunity for them to provide enough helicopters? Will they have the opportunity to provide enough gunboats to rescue the people? And we are aware that the flood attacks even farmers in the bush. The flood attacks even people who are wading through the water along the roads and process. Some communities are situated, in remote places. How could this demonstration be expanded enough to cover such victims?
Dr. Abieba also challenged claims by sole administrator retired Vice Admiral Iboketa Ebas that IDP camps are being upgraded.
There is no IDP camp. Say this is provided by government for the purpose. It is discouraging for government to always be talking about IDP camp. I want to believe that if government is providing an IDP camp, they were supposed to publicize it. As far as I know, there is no IDP camp. As far as Engene is concerned, no IDP camp.
Now, he pointed out that displaced persons in Akinema still sleep in the town hall renovated by the former chairman, while victims in Mbiama take shelter in a community school. It might interest you to know that the River State government, with NEMA, conducted the simulation exercise last week. During the visit of NEMA officials to Government House, the sole administrator also announced plans to desilt canals and drainages in Port Harcourt. Moving on to legal issues and politics. A federal high court in Port Harcourt has adjourned to October 13 a suit filed by civil society group, the Initiative for Freedom, Conflict Prevention and Social Integration, also known as FREECON. The group wants the court to decide if President Bola Tinubu has powers to transfer the governor's role in appointing the chairman and members of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. They also want the court to rule on whether Rivers State sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Abas, can appoint RISIC officials to conduct council polls. At Wednesday's hearing, the PDP joined the suit after its application was granted by Justice Turaki Mohammed. Meanwhile, lawyers to the defendants raised a preliminary objection over the court's jurisdiction. FREECON's lawyer, Lezina Amegwa, confirmed receipt and immediately filed a response. The matter has now been moved to October 13 outside the vacation court. Still on politics, Abuja-based political scientist Simbo Olorufemi wants PDP leaders to avoid what he calls a legal trap by members loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. His comments follow threats by the PDP Governors Forum to deal with members working against the party's national convention. Olorufemi insists the party must compromise with the group to avoid fresh litigation.
If they had moved decisively since 2023, they will not be where they are today. I would think it is coming too late. They are left with no choice but to stand their ground. When we say it is coming late, what we mean is that eventually it might not serve them well in the end, them being able to achieve something substantial from the 2027 election. But what it means is that take action now, then they will be able to have firm control over the affairs of the party.
He also says threats against members will not bring any real result.
The court is going to come in because even the convention that we're talking about, it's quite possible that the wicked people will proceed to court and try and get an injunction that will stop the party from holding the convention. Once they take action against the wicked faction, those ones are likely going to proceed to court. It's a no-win situation for them. I think that might save them sometime. They let go and believe that they will have enough delegates from other parts of the country. Same way they made compromise by letting Damagum continue to hold on and letting Samaya will continue to hold on as national secretary.
Back here in Rivers State, the political leader of Okehi Ward 11 in Eche local government area, Dr. Fortune Obi, says the election of Chima Boniface Njoko as chairman of Eche will usher in a new phase of development, peace and prosperity for the people. He also congratulated the newly elected chairman and commended the people of Eche for their massive turnout and support during the August 30th local government elections, adding that their invaluable role played in peaceful conduct of the elections across the River State. The minister's support was critical in delivering a credible and successful process. The Eche leader further appreciated Senator Orwell Onyeso, who represents Rivers East Senatorial District, APC leader in Eche, Ephraim Wuzi, and other notable leaders whose efforts contributed to what he described as the overwhelming success of all consensus candidates in the polls. Dr. Obi expressed confidence that with the mandate given to Chima Njoko, the people of Eche can look forward to improved governance and better opportunities that will benefit communities across the local government. Well, still to come, Port Harcourt will be agog this weekend as Bole Festival is here. We'll tell you all about that after this break.
Want to enter a Nigerian university with
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Students of Ajuri University are calling for tighter security on campus. This comes after a viral video showed police arresting suspected cultists said to be guarding their leader during an exam. Eyewitnesses claimed the suspects had guns, axes, and machetes.
Yeah, 001 was in the exam hall writing his exam. So they were actually waiting for him outside before the chaos started. The gunshots drew many people's attention. When they searched the car, the first thing they brought out was an axe. And the boys were still claiming rights that as students of Ignatius is not a bad thing. The next thing that came out of the car was machetes. Then they checked their bag and saw pistol with some bullets inside.
There's 001 been a right exam. I can't hear gunshots. I will not lie up to Amma for my life.
The thing where Ignatius currently need now tight security. Before maybe one student now will die out of flying bullet. The only thing the security men likes going out to go and look for is only girls putting on one shorts, crop top.
Our correspondent also learned that shootings occurred on August 18 and 23 during the university's SUG week. Vice Chancellor Professor Ifechukwu confirmed the incident and said security has since been beefed up.
We're working directly with SSS, we're working with police to ensure that we stop them. Only very few of them are causing these attacks. And they do it in conjunction with their partners from other universities. We have this on security. The main gate that the new gate is the one we are using open. This back one, we lock it completely. And then the pedestrian way, we open it in the morning from 6 o'clock to 10. Then at night, around 8 o'clock, we lock the main gate and then open this one, our old gate here.
Away from that, labor unions say they will engage the federal government over its planned 5% surcharge on fossil fuels products from January 2026. National Industrial Relations Officer of Pengasen, Dr. Eze Ifeanyi, told our correspondent Buruware that the surcharge is aimed at boosting government revenue, not discouraging fuel use.
Trying to discourage people from using the only source they have. So are you saying they shouldn't live again? That excuse, I believe, is to make more money for the government, not for any discouragement. You know that any additional tax on the citizen now is not the best. As an organization, we will actually not support that for now because that is going to increase the inflation. By then, there should be more engagement.
But oil and gas economist Kingsley Ibusan warned that the policy will indirectly raise living costs for Nigerians.
Before a government should come up with such policy, they should have an alternative. But currently in the country, we only rely on fossil fuel as most of our energy needs. This shows an inelastic demand for petroleum products. So this inelastic demand, once you impose tax, the incidence of taxation or the burden of taxation falls on the consumer. It's a policy which they did not research or which they are concealing the actual nature of their intention.
He urged the government to explore other ways of discouraging fossil fuel use before the law takes effect. Recall that under the new law, Nigerians will begin paying a 5% surcharge on fossil fuel sales, excluding renewable energy products, household kerosene, cooking gas, and compressed natural gas. Away from that, the Onyishi Agwuru of Ozuzo in Eche local government area, Eze Silvanus Amifule, says this year's Ozuzo New Yam Festival, popularly called Egwu Ozuzo, will focus on peace building and the socio-economic development of the area. In a statement signed by the chairman of Obako Ozuzo General Assembly, Emeka Amechi, on behalf of the monarch, the week-long celebration kicks off today with an exchange of gifts among residents. The program includes a series of traditional wrestling matches, starting with Ojia Community Playground on September 5th, followed by Umofururu Community on the 6th, Oboku Community on the 7th, and Ezikohia Community on the 8th. Obono community takes its turn on September 9th. Umugwocha on the 10th and Umonachi community on September 11th. The festival will climax with a grand finale and trade fair at the State School Field, Ozuzu. Still talking festivals, Port Harcourt will this weekend host the 2025 edition of Bole Festival, Africa's biggest food and culture event, at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium on September 6th and 7th. This year's edition, themed One Bite, One Beat, One Moment, will feature food, music, games, and lifestyle experiences on a bigger scale. A new highlight, the Voltage District created a partnership with a smoke shop and will serve as a high-energy arena for music lovers with Afrobeat, Amapiano, house, and more. The festival will also parade a star-studded lineup including Joe Boy, Fave, Famous Pluto, Good Girl, LA, Dope Caesar, DJ Consequence, and DJ Lawi, with hosting by Yemo Lee, Sisi Boma, Barango, Justman, and Dave the Mic Man. Organizers say this year's event will surpass expectations and deliver the most memorable experience yet, supported by Guinness, Johnny Walker, Money Point, Rice Best, MTN, and others. Bole Festival 2025 is expected to draw thousands from across Nigeria and beyond. And now the Greater Evangelism World Crusade has lined up a 4-day program of activities to mark the 53rd anniversary of the ministry. The international director, Isaac Olori, disclosed this at an international press conference held at the church's headquarters in Ruboku, River State, where he reflected on the journey of the ministry, its vision and mission. He also spoke on the improvement and expansion achieved since the passing of the founder and what the ministry hopes to accomplish in the next phase.
Use this opportunity to invite everyone to join us in this celebration. Wherever you live, there is a church of Greater Evangelism World Crusade close to you. As we look forward to the years ahead with great optimism and faith in the Lord Jesus, the ministry will build on the gains of our modest successes in the areas of consolidation of our national missions.
Mr. Olori added that the ministry has continued to uphold and build on the founder's vision through the grace of God over the last 5 decades.
The ministry has enjoyed great stability in structure and organization among the leadership and members alike in all ramifications. We have remained consistent in our core value of teaching and upholding the truth of God's word in all our doctrines and practices. We have embarked on strategic evangelism and mission outreaches.
Our correspondent Sebi Oruwara reports that the anniversary opens today, September 4th, with a special address by the International Director to be broadcast live across all branches and missions and streamed on YouTube. On Friday, September 5th, there will be a teaching session on the history, vision, and mission of the ministry. On Saturday, September 6th, evangelism will take place in all local churches, while Sunday, September 7th, has been set aside for testimonial and Thanksgiving services. Activities will continue on Monday, September 8th, with visits to hospitals, orphanages, and correctional centers, and the celebrations will climax on Tuesday, September 9th, with a love feast in all branches. The Central Executive Council of the Church was also present at the press conference. We'll go on a short commercial break right now.
Kids, are you ready for a blast? It's Super Summer Blast Fondland Edition, the biggest family fun day of the year.
The derailment of the 140-year-old Gloria funicular in Lisbon claimed 15 lives. Emergency services say 18 others were taken to hospital with 5 in critical condition. Foreign nationals were among the dead, but their nationalities have not yet been confirmed. The accident happened around 6 p.m. in the capital, shocking both residents and tourists. Lisbon's mayor, Carlos Moedas, visited some of the injured in hospital, describing it as a tragic moment for the city. The Portuguese government has declared a national day of mourning and will host the mayor at a cabinet meeting on Thursday. And that's the news, but here are the major headlines we brought you this hour. We told you that a court has adjourned a suit challenging appointment of RISIEC chairman and members. We also brought you the latest about a young doctor, Femi Rutifa, who died in Port Harcourt. You also heard a stakeholder question the Rivers government's flood rescue plans, even as we informed you that there will be environmental sanitation this weekend. The news was edited by Ufoma Ebamano. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili. Many thanks for listening.